Hello everyone, this is Floxcat, and welcome back to another GPReed analyze video. And I know I said I probably would take a little bit of a break, but today I actually do need to do this because something has gigantically big happened, and it is very clear. Excuse me. It is very clear that this is a very interesting thing that has happened. And it really is. Now, how interesting it'll get, I don't know. So, pretty much, this will be kind of a super quick one because, it only just review one video, but it is kind of big with many things happening, many symbolisms, and I'm not going to get to all of it, but the biggest way to show you is that today we have part 2 of 1. That's right. Right. Grant has released another video that is a sequel to his first weird video called Number 1, and it's obviously called Number 2. I kid you not. I'm surprised they didn't put part in it, but whatever. I guess, it's gotta be ARG. The cliche thing to do is to literally have weird symbols. I mean, I know that for a fact. I used to do it with both German and Japanese things, just FYI. That's just being factual. Anyways, that's a long story for another day. Anyways, point being that this is, of course, part 2 of something where he pretty much writes down everything, and like always, I decided to go ahead and make it much more easy on us to literally just write down every single nook and cranny improperly, except for one sentence which I am questioning on if he wrote it for some reason in on purpose, but the rest of it is fine, and it reveals a jackload of stuff. And there's a lot more to the video. Like, I'll tell you this right now. The video is weird. Like, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. I'll still show it out a lot. But apparently, number 2 has him saying bunch of numbers, which I think is a code to something. I don't know what, but I'm going to leave it to the Discord people who are experts at that thing to transcript it. But he says it's fast and stuff. And just to let you guys know, let me just show you the video in general. Yeah, what did happen? Because, yeah, I know, that is the most weirdest thing. But then again, again, this is an ARG, what you expect. Or, non-fiction story or whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is that Mexes was way more bigger than we ever thought. So I'm going to go ahead and flip through here. Yeah, this is all my notes. Yeah, notes. Get the notes. I might gotta get a new notebook because notebook. Okay, here it is. Oh, flip. Whew, that was close. I don't know why I did that. Probably best to turn that off. Sorry about that. Whew, that was Superman close. Anyways, so here's what has been wrote. Part 2 of 2, and I'll read it out. Hold on, let me just get some water in my mouth so I can read this. Alright, so part 2 of 2, or 2 of 2, or whatever. I do not understand why the whatever SILO, which I think that's supposed to be a reference to so-called, holds importance. Is Naomi ran by artificial life? What you bury does not matter to G. I'm leaving GPReed. Naomi has more promise. The third aura was overwritten by G, which confirms that this is like what his full name could be if the letters was put out. And by the way, real quick, I already did the whole thought thing. I don't think this is Grant. I obviously know this ain't Grant, but there is the fact of clue of who this G person is. And apparently, turns out he really is a person and not really a symbol for the sun, but I'm having $5 that is reference to the constellations or something in this space or alchemy, just FYI, or Greek. But it's no doubt fact. Anyways, but G made it seem like it was not. This owl will spread us to the cord. P.S. I don't know what he meant by spread. I guess it takes them to the core, but in a funny way because birds spread their wings. But I don't know. And that was the upside down one. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Father. Does he have it? Does he know that mother wants him out of the picture? Goodbye. This is a red flag because I always assumed that possibly mother and father could have passed away. I never truly said that. But it seems now that father and mother could be somewhat alive. I'll get to the reason why in a bit and what I theory on what's going to happen. And of course we've got the symbols from the pictures. P.S. This is me drawing them. I recommend looking more closely at them because my drawings is. But this is how much it is. And yeah, there's the sun symbol, the moon symbol with the alchemy versions. Then there's G in the center of the sun, because I guess he also has importance. And the interesting part about these two is I can't help but point out that the sun, which by the way, I think the arrows are squiggly on that thing. Not straight as I put it, but I try to squiggle it. I can't help but recognize that this looks like something has a chaos symbol, one of the chaos symbols. I would show you, but I'm too lazy to pick up the thing, but it reminds me of that. But I could also think of black hole in some way, because GPReed is the key symbol, well, not GPReed, and I'll get to that in a bit, because I've been saying Grant as GPReed for a long time, and boy, you can see one of the big reveals of that. The thing is, the G is in the sun. Now, if you guys don't know, and nothing to worry about, because pretty much this is just common knowledge and astronomy, and you can tell this is one of my favorite things, which one of the reasons why I love this series so much, because it's getting into one of my favorite science subjects, which is astronomy. Believe it or not, our sun, which I think is in the middle of the Milky Way, I could be wrong, in the middle of our sun and in the middle of the, I think, Milky Way, I could be wrong on this, but in the middle of our sun, there is a giant, massive black hole. Like, let me quickly show you. Okay, this is it, though I highly doubt, because it is in the middle of the Milky Way, I just don't know if that's where our sun is, but I don't know, I think it is, but, whatever. But it's a big, giant black hole that eats things for breakfast. We don't have to worry about it since it's going to be, old. And yes, this is a very old this is actually my first book. But the point is, I can't help but recognize that looks like a black hole. What it could mean, I don't know. I think they're going way too far with the whole Pokemon thing, as you can see right there, because, reasons, and, probably a Necrozma reference, I don't know, because we all know Necrozma represents black hole, but again, that's just jumping to conclusions, but I can't help but that's possibly what the symbol means. I could be wrong, but I have to look at alchemy to see. I have to double check there, but, that's all I can figure. So what does this mean for us? Hold on. Yeah. So what does this mean for us, and what should we take out of this? Well, there's a lot that we do know that has been confirmed. So the first thing we need to confirm is we got a brand new thing called SILO. Now, I'm really to bet that it might be a reference to Soul Corp in some way, or probably not, but I can't help but notice it looks like Soul Corp in some way. But that probably is not correct, and I think it's probably the company that GPReed is working with. That is because, Soul Corp is with Naomi. And P.S., speaking of which, we go to the next thing that is very interesting is Naomi ran by artificial life? Now, this is a theological question in this sentence, because as you can see, this came after the first thing, which I do not understand why the blank, because we don't know what this is, S-I whatever, holds important. Is Naomi ran by artificial life? This is a red flag to me, because this saying that this guy isn't asking this as a question, but actually he is, but in a more, I don't know how to explain it correctly, because I know what is going on here, it's just, I can't explain it correctly, but it's asking dumbing down, hey, you remember this, right? Kind of saying. So this thing is a red flag, though it would make a lot of sense. Are you pretty much saying that Naomi are cyborgs or something, or ran by something? Because this could make sense, and I think there is a reason for this. I'll get to this, because it just gets crazier. But anyways, the next thing that's big is the buried part, and this reveals that. And I'm just going to make this prediction out of the way. I don't think might be, but I'm now questioning Grant's story about the dog thing. Because if we recall in the previous analysis, we talked about how GPReed was doing some digging, and we always thought that it could be because he lost a dog, and he has, still mental issues, and used that as a coping mechanism. Now, I'm starting to wonder if he used that as a lie to search for something else. Because if he's saying, what you bury does not matter to he, it does question the fact that, was there an importance to the dog? That it had, something like a chip or something that they did? Did it do, some sort of, I'm trying to think of a more appropriate way to say that. Say, well, I think it's happening, but I don't know. But, I highly doubt that it wasn't just the dogs, though, in this scenario. I wonder if GPReed, I have two theories. Theory A, he could have digged something that was important for Naomi, or something that he buried. Or B, going a little bit grim, he could have buried his family, or helped with the funeral arrangements with that. That could make some sense. Because, again, we know that he lost his family in some of this. So, I don't know. But it does now figure out why he was digging. He was probably burying something that we don't know. Or, again, it could be also the dog thing, but it could explain why he allowed that to soothe him, because he could have also buried something with that dog. That's my only jump to conclusion thing I can think of. Next up is the biggest one that really got me off guard, but when you kind of think about it, it is the fact, and no matter what, I'll still call Grant GPReed as a person, because, that's his channel thing, and I'm going to still call it. That's why people call me Foxcat. But it turns out his channel's name is actually a company, as the description reads, I'm leaving GPReed. Naomi has more promises. And remember, Naomi, as of late, is a company. that says it's not bad, but yet it shows things that looks like it was bad. And, Soul Corp. Now, of course, I could be jumping the gun there, but could it be possible that GPReed, other than the fact that that's Grant's, avatar thing, could Grant be using his avatar name as the name of the company in this story? That could be a big thing. Because, I always refer to Grant as GPReed, but now it's definitely confirming that GPReed could be a company or something. Then we get into pretty much the most bizarrest thing out of this entire Reed thing, which apparently there's free auras. Now, for those who do not know, or, new to this, aura is the red bird that you see in GPReed's profile pic, is the bird that, is kind of confusing, but now this explains it. Aura is literally pretty much there's free auras. And this is another symbolism to a channel that I'm not going to say, and I'm not going to call it by what I'm now calling it, because we all know what I'm now calling it, but it's another symbolism to that. And P.S., by the way, just real quick, I'm probably not going to do a symbolism video on that, just FYI, for reasons that, persuade me. But there's no doubt that that was inspired by that, and it now explains why Aura was so confusing, because I always thought that first Aura was just one of the birds, friends with the owl person named Justin. Well, not the Justin one, and we'll get to that in a bit, but always friend with Owie. Then we get to another bird that is now working with the boss, which I thought, he was disguised. And then we see the third one acting weird as heck, but it now makes sense. There could be even multiple of this ready to be reduced. And then this also makes sense why the owl named Justin, which by the way was confirmed in the last video, my last theory video, not the, symbolism, but the last theory video where he showed the owl literally pretty much killed it, rewriting Aura. So it's not a big deal, but it's definitely very interesting. And the person who written it was G, which seems to be that G is playing both sides, because it makes no sense. Why would G be working with Grant, GPReed's, when he's also working with Soul Corp? It makes no sense. So far, the way it kind of looks, other though they are now looking to try to be combined through Grant, which I think will explain the ending, by the way, but it makes no sense why he will be literally being a double agent with them, whoever this G person is. And then we just get to the fact that, like I said, the whole owl thing spread us to the core, whatever the core is, which I think is the middle of the sun or a black hole. That's the only thing I can think of. And we got the symbols and the father thing and blah blah. So the three big things to take away with this. First, there is a company. The company is GPReed, not the person. The company, GPReed, is a company. 2, apparently there are free auras, and pretty much probably robotic. And 3, what was 3? Dang, I think it was even supposed to be 4 because I missed the Naomi thing. The Naomi thing is, of course, for free, is artificial intelligence. Let me look back. Hold on. I know I'm jumping to the gun. I've got to look back at this. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is getting confusing every time. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, and 3, the burying thing. He buries something. Yeah, there's a lot. Let's just say there's a lot. But the biggest thing to take away with this is the company name is GPReed. So it makes some... And it kind of makes some sense when you think about it, because Naomi is named after a company as well, so it makes some sense. It explains a lot. Also, this will mean my number 1 and G thing, even though it was already debunked kind of thing, is now official debunked. Even though, again, I don't know why they put numbers, and I think there is still some bugs, the reason why they did put part in it, but whatever. Now, as for the bizarre ending, I don't know what happened. I really don't. There's a bug. And I don't know what happened. My theory is and it's going to sound weird. I think this is kind of a Black Mirror scenario where apparently this is where I think the whole artificial thing come into play and why Naomi is artificial. It could be possible to jump the gun, and this is probably why it's. Could it be possible that this is some sort of futuristic thing where he's in another virtual world? I highly doubt it, which could also add more sense to the whole Pokemon thing, although I don't think that is the case. But I wonder if, and even if it was a virtual, I do know what happened. Pretty much, the best way to explain is that it's possible that Grant was kicked out of his own company because they were starting to get suspicious of him working with Naomi, and I bet that letter was not written by him. Well, it probably was. Who knows? But it's possible that there could be multiple persons in this. But what I theory of this video is, part 2, it's possible that Grant was unhappy, and again, we can't help but also add, and I can't not stress this enough to add, you gotta remember, he also has somebody they may have kidnapped, being Tress, that girl, and either way, whatever the reason, he's working with Naomi now, and it's possible that the other reason is the fact that they have more advances toward whatever his goal is, whatever that goal is. So, they must have kicked him out of his own company. That's all I can jump. And as you can see, I'm out of time. But the point is, yeah, this is big because it kind of confirms more of... It gives us some bits and hints of what's now going on. Now, how this story is going to go, I don't know. And there is one more thing I forgot to mention. Grant did state and kind of hinted at number 2 in my comment section in the last video and a few other stuff. And Naomi did said that the sun is necessary evil, which I think that is actually more correct than even she says, because how creepy that fucking sun is with their symbol, even though it still doesn't make any sense why they need the sun to be evil and whatever. And of course, Grant did say that the sun now has set in number 2. So, I have no idea what that meant, but as you guys can see, my next symbolism video will be on the sun. When will that be released? I don't know, I think this weekend, I can't count on it, but, you know, reasons of being. But still, this is very interesting in its fact, but that's all I can say now. All I can say is, dang, there's a lot to go by. And also, keep an eye, and I'm keeping an eye out, because apparently GPReed told me to keep an eye out on him with his channel. I don't know what will happen, but all I'll say is also keep an eye on Pokey Story, because things are going to get interesting with that. And that's not just on my end, but also GPReed. What he will do, I don't know. There is a reason. I'll send a link down in the description to the recent episode of Pokey Story. You'll see why. Anyways, I'm snapping out of here. Bye-bye.